the F model Chinook. It has a max gross weight of 50,000 pounds. And one of the missions our soldiers will be doing in support of other task force volunteer in the state as a whole, will be using the cargo hook in the event that it's called to put out fires if need be by Bambi buckets or deliver sandbags. All could be done with this aircraft.
One of many missions possible. I know you're ready to go. Thank you very much for your time. Reporting live from Clay National Guard Center, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
Mark, as you mentioned, we certainly do appreciate all that they're doing for us.
They're the first ones to go in. Mark, thank you for that.
The bands of heavy rain and strong winds continue to circulate through metro Atlanta. Meteorologist Brian Monahan just let me know of an estimated 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts in Midtown with transformer fires. We'll take you through the latest coming up.
Wow, and a live picture from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Almost zero visibility there. The camera is shaking. You can barely see anything. Our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues from Metro Atlanta, South Georgia, and Florida. Keep it right here on air, also online with the Severe Weather Team 2 app and our website, WSB-TV.com.
This is no ordinary spray paint. With a precise blade pattern that'll cover any surface, it sprays 360 degrees, featuring a one-of-a-kind patented comfort grip that puts all this innovation within the palm of your hand. It's Rust-Oleum Universal, available in an array of exclusive finishes, including rich metallics, so anybody can transform something boring into something brilliant. Universal Spray Paint. It's brilliant from every angle. Exclusively from Rust-Oleum.
Oh boy. This is gonna be good. Did this just stop on its own?
Yeah,
Is that a touchscreen? Does it have Bluetooth?
all came standard.
Came standard? Wow, that's unbelievable. This guy, he's giving it to him. You won't believe what standard can do. Get 0% APR for 72 months on a new 2017 Toyota Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
After an accident, you don't want to say anything that could be mistakenly used by the insurance company to reduce or deny your valid claim. That's why you need to speak with a Montlick attorney first.
Before you talk to the insurance company.
Remember, the insurance adjuster's role is to protect the insurance company's interests, not yours. Call 1-800-LAW-MEET-NOW to speak with a Montlick attorney, or use our 24/7 live online chat at montlick.com. The initial consultation is free, and you pay no fee unless you win.
You put aside some cash in a traditional savings account with a rate that sounded great. But then, after a few months, that promotional rate came crashing down. You and your money deserve better. Take about 5 minutes and open a Capital One savings account right here. You'll get one of the nation's best rates, and it's not a promotional rate. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
In our commitment to education, Channel 2 has partnered with the Atlanta Families Awards for Excellence in Education. Winners are presented with an award that they may use to further educational causes. Channel 2 and the Atlanta Families Awards celebrate a commitment to education.
Is this the world's best sandwich? Nope. Lance's real peanut butter between 2 toasted crackers is the best. Pick up some tasty sandwich crackers from Lance.
And look at this, a viewer sent us this picture after a tree came crashing down in her home. That viewer said the weather did not seem that bad when this tree came down, but it demolished her daughter's bedroom. This is in Upson County, and fortunately, no one was injured.
And if you can, send us those pictures. It's hashtag Stormwatch on 2 as Irma continues to work its way across the metro area. We're getting a look at some of the damage that's left behind. A viewer in Gainesville sent us these pictures of several limbs that came down outside the home there and ripped off part of what appears to be the gutter.
And another large tree toppled down. This is in Decatur. A viewer sent us this shot from Winona Park, that area around Winona Park. You can see, look at the size right there of that root system. It is huge. Again, as Wendy mentioned, make sure that you can safely send us your pictures at hashtag Stormwatch on 2. We're checking them out on Twitter and Facebook.
And of course, we do have reporters fanned all over. Right now, we want to check in with our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage with Mike Pachenik joining us now from North Fulton County. Mike?
And Wendy, I've got my Twitter feed open to a number of agencies here in the North Metro, and really it feels like a game of whack-a-mole. 1 second we'll see a report of a tree down on a house. The next we'll see a report of a tree on power lines. That is the case here
across Hammond Drive, a very busy artery through the midsection of Sandy Springs. You can see the tree precariously dangling on top of the power lines here. This road is now shut down between Georgia 400 and Peachtree Dunwoody Road, right in front of the King and Queen Tower. And you see those power crews stationed out there at the ready when the conditions improve so they can get the power back on here and get that tree off those lines. I talked to a gentleman who works for one of the tree crews that is out today about the unique set of circumstances they're dealing with in this storm and these very high sustained winds.
So we have to hold off until everything is clear for life safety wise for our guys to get in here and do this job safely.
So they can't get out here until this rain and wind stops. We're going to keep tabs on the situation and have live reports for you throughout the afternoon. For now, we're live in Sandy Springs. I'm Mike Kuchenik, Channel 2 Action News.
Winds gusting over 50 miles an hour at times now. Your hour-by-hour forecast and how long this takes to diminish late this evening coming up.
Channel 2's Glenn Burns is Atlanta's chief meteorologist. As a weather scientist, he's assembled the most cutting-edge tools and scours the country for the newest advancements. As a proven leader, he's put together the most reliable team of meteorologists in the business. He has called it right when lives are on the line. I just want to keep your family safe. He is Atlanta's chief meteorologist, only on Channel 2 Action News. Severe weather coverage you can count on.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. Whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
It's Ford SUV season, and Ford is putting up some very impressive numbers. Here's another impressive number, 4,350. That's the total cash back you can now get on select Ford SUVs. The unstoppable Explorer, the adventurous Ford Escape, and the smart, stylish Ford Edge. Don't miss the impressive numbers during Ford's SUV season. Now, get up to 4,350 total cash back on select 2017 Ford SUVs. See your local Ford dealer today.
You know, having a baby and having a 3-year-old, we're hoping to get a little guidance so we can save for our house. Working with somebody at the bank is going to be different. So Maurice is great with going over our everyday finances. He definitely helped me see how we can save and pay off our debt at the same time and why we would want to do that. I'm so ready to take our next step.
Ready to move your life forward? Visit regions.com/nextstep.
Health is having the freedom to do what you want to do with your life every single day. So at Aetna, we promise to keep finding new ways to join you so nothing gets in your way. Because no matter where it is you're going, or whatever stage of life you're in, we believe that when it comes to health, you don't join us, we join you.
This is new video just into our newsroom from Channel 2 reporter Aaron Diamond. It's pretty incredible. Check this out. You can see a man with a pickup truck. He pulls a downed tree out of an intersection. This is in a neighborhood in Midtown. He did this so that a fire truck could get through. This is, you know, everyone just pitching in and helping where they safely can. If you can, send us your weather pictures, send us your video. Use the hashtag StormWatchOn2. It's a good man right there, allowing for first responders to get through.
It's nice to see this going on here in Georgia now. There's also been some strong wind in the Noonan area. A viewer sent us this video on Twitter, and take a look at these trees just whipping back and forth and the strong winds out there. 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts will continue this afternoon with Irma, and we are tracking the storm's every move.
Sure are. So is meteorologist Brad Nitz, live in Severe Weather Center 2.
So widespread rain, heavy at times, but it's not just the rainfall rate that makes it seem so heavy, but it's the driving force of the wind blowing that rain around. So we do have some heavy rain tapering off, but the wind's still gusty out around Eatonton and some of the heaviest downpours now in the West Metro. Winds have been gusting 50, 60 miles an hour in Atlanta. We're continuing with gusts nearly 50 right now. You see it down towards Griffin, about 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and close to 40 in Carrollton. LaGrange gusting right now to about 25 miles an hour. The rain tapering off from Macon to Eatonton, across the lake country out towards Augusta, but the wind's still up in that area, and these heavy rain bands will continue to cycle on through. Rainfall total so far been about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So as we're seeing the back edge of the rain already towards Eatonton, I expect, generally speaking, rainfall totals by the end of all this, 1 to 3 inches with a few isolated spots. So that reduces the risk for flooding and flash flooding. That's some good news with all of this. The flash flood watch remains in effect, but that flooding risk is less, I think, than it would have been otherwise. So here's what we're looking at. Basically, the southern half of this tropical storm is no longer producing rain, but the gusty winds and those heavy rain bands continuing to develop out towards South Carolina will continue over parts of metro Atlanta and North Georgia as we head through this evening. Looking ahead towards 5 o'clock, winds remain about how they are now, gusting around 50, occasionally a little bit higher. Where you see the pink, those are wind gusts approaching 60 miles an hour. Already had 3 reports of winds over 60. We had 61 at the airport, 61 at the top of Stone Mountain, and 62-mile-an-hour gusts in Gwinnett County at Berkeley Lake. Winds are going to stay up 45 to 50 miles an hour in gusts through 10 o'clock this evening. And then after midnight, overnight and into the morning hours, it certainly stays breezy all night, but the wind starts to subside and the risk for additional wind damage will come to an end. But over the next several hours, we'll still have additional trees and power lines down, I fear, as those winds will be gusting 50 to 60 miles an hour here for the next few hours.
All right, Brad, thank you for that. And of course, trees are falling and they're causing trouble on local roadways. Again, we repeat it. It's best to just stay home if you can.
Yep. Triple Team Traffic's Ashley Frasca is monitoring those conditions right now. What's going on, Ashley?
Good afternoon, Craig and Wendy. We've been working the phones from the traffic center all afternoon long. The 911 dispatchers can't even keep up with the trees that are quickly coming down around metro Atlanta. That is the exact problem that happened on the interstate here in Conyers. Conyers police telling us they have shut down both directions, I-20 east and westbound traffic being diverted before West Avenue. That's exit 80. So please avoid that part of the East Freeway. If you can, use Old Covington Highway instead. Next, down to Henry County, trees down on 75 south around Hudson Bridge and 75 at Jonesboro Road down in McDonough. A live look at Traffic Tracker 2 now. We take you over to I-20. You can see this tree, hero units are blocking the exit ramp I-20 westbound onto H.E. Holmes Drive. You're trying to head away from downtown Atlanta towards I-285. In our next traffic report, we will update you on many of the trees blocking roads in Gwinnett County. I'm Ashley Frasca, Channel 2 Action News.
Ashley, thank you. We are working to learn if a teenager will face charges in a deadly crash that killed a Hurricane Irma evacuee in Cherokee County. It happened on Arnold Mill Road in Woodstock on Saturday. Police say the teen hit 2 adults and a 3-month-old child who were crossing the street. The baby later died from injuries. Police say the victims were evacuees from Florida.
Metro Atlanta's Muslim community is opening mosques to give evacuees a place to stay. This is video of the mosque right on 14th Street in Northwest Atlanta. It is one of 15 mosques throughout the metro area, supplying shelter for people who evacuated because of Irma. 5 other mosques are operating as collection and distribution centers. They are collecting a lot of food, clothing, as well as other supplies.
And rescue animals, they are finding temporary shelter from Irma at a warehouse in North Fulton County. The Atlanta Humane Society says state officials asked them to set up this emergency shelter. This is on Market Boulevard in Roswell. Volunteers are ready to help up to 1,000 animals. They're also expecting to take in some dogs and cats from Fulton County's Animal Services Shelter because it often floods during the rain. Now, in North Florida, Irma's floodwaters have risen quickly.
I grew up in Jacksonville. I've been getting a lot of video and pictures from family and friends there, and to see these pictures, it is insane. Part of downtown Jacksonville is underwater. Right now, we want to go to Caitlin Channa from our sister station down in Jacksonville, continuing our Severe Weather Team 2 coverage from the Jacksonville landing.
It's just remarkable to think. So at 1 a.m., my photographer Steve and I actually passed through this area and there was no flooding. And now here we are several hours later after Hurricane Irma has gone through downtown Jacksonville, and you can already see the impacts that are left behind. I mean, it's just absolutely astonishing to see how much standing water is in this area. But one of the things I want to show you, because it just is a glimmer of hope. The sun is trying to peek out of this ominous clouds as they continue to pass by, but it's just nice to know that we are hopefully have some sunshine and hope on the way when it comes to how much disaster has been brought by this storm. Now, The reason why I'm standing kind of behind this shelter and trying to have some type of protection is because the Jacksonville Landing roof continues to flap back and forth, and we've seen pieces of debris fly off. And so just to kind of keep ourselves safe from the projectiles of just how strong this wind is, throwing and thrashing items back and forth, we're trying to use various items and buildings and structures as our safety net to keep ourselves safe. But one of the things is just like the standing water, it's absolutely insane. Once in a while when these wind gusts come through, it's like there's white caps. You're thinking like you're on the St. Johns River, and instead it's really merged with downtown Jacksonville. We are in the Jacksonville Landing area in the Wells Fargo Bank. Actually, take a quick look at this, where it actually says Fargo on the sign. It's swaying back and forth just like the palm trees and the signs. Now, a few minutes ago, we saw another yield sign go down. We've also seen other lamps go down and a few other items in this area just because of the strength and the gust of these winds that we are still experiencing as of right now. Now, one of the things I want my photographer Steve to kind of show you, I think it's really interesting if you can get over there.
Oh, Jesus, Pete.
You can always see like a little bit of like the debris in that area.
What is
that's
that?
about 2 to 3 feet of water. You can see the fire hydrant that's barely peeking out from the water in that area. Earlier when I was there, it was above my knee. And so using our gauge as of right now, it doesn't look like the leading
poor fire
sign is going
hydrant.
up
Look at
anymore.
that poor
It
fire
looks like right now
hydrant
it's kind of
back there.
plateaued. It's
So
at the
sad.
same
So
level as we reported last time. But because high tide is approaching,
Look
we
at
are
the road.
assuming
Don't
that
touch
in
me.
time
I'm
that
trying
this
to
will
look.
actually probably increase
God
before it
damn,
recedes.
Nicola. Look,
And
just
that's
look
one
at
of
the
great
road.
concerns overall
The
for
constant
officials
streak
and
of
just
water
people
running
down
into
here.
the sewer,
We see
bro.
a lot of like young people and individuals come down here to want to take pictures, video, and share it on their social media accounts. We had one person earlier who was riding his bike. Yes, you heard me right. Trying to ride his bike down this area. I think after he recognized he couldn't get too far with pedaling in this water, he recognized that probably wasn't a good idea. Now, earlier we did see a JEA truck make their way down closer to Bay Street, so hopefully they're going to work on the drains. They're all backed up at this point, and I think right now the big concern is where will the standing water go? How long will it take to be able to clear this area? And those are all questions that we're hoping to be able to get more answers from JEA, also the mayor, and some other city officials.
And live from our tower cam, you can see that it is dark out there. We have heavy wind and rain. Power is out in much of Midtown. Dangerous conditions there. What's next?
It's Landmark's kickoff sales event. Score big with giant Ram Power Days rebates and discounts only the Southeast #1 dealer can do on Ram, Wrangler, Challenger, and Pacifica. Choose from a selection so big it's like shopping 20 football fields and receive trade dollars the competition won't give. Plus, we'll tackle any credit problem you have so you can go home a winner. Huddle up now at landmarkautomotive.com because nobody beats Landmark. Nobody.
After reflecting on our back-to-school shoe needs, the Gonzalez family is going with Academy.
Why Academy over the other store?
I can afford to get all 3 of my kids the name brands they want, like Nike and Adidas at Academy.
Was convenience a factor?
I'm a mom, and at Academy I'm not waiting on some teenager to get sizes I already know I need. I just grab them myself and I go. Mom, what's for dinner tonight? No idea, your dad's cooking.
Start your season with the best brands at the lowest prices guaranteed. Academy Sports and Outdoors.
4th down. That's it. Time to punt. I mean, if it were me, I'd go for it. Right. The day that I win this will be the day that pigs. Okay. We got a smart one over here. These are beef, right? Wait. Seriously? Just kidding. Guy. I was scared for a minute.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Play the Atlanta Falcons scratcher from the Georgia Lottery.
If you need a new mattress and you need it fast, Rooms To Go has a great selection. Like this set starting at just $299. Or how about this set for $399? Check out great brands like these for $499. Or these cozy mattress sets for $599. Here's what $699 buys. $799, $899, and $999. The fact is, Rooms To Go has your perfect mattress set at your perfect price. And you can get it tomorrow. See our complete selection now at Rooms To Go.
Here at Aikens Ford, we have the best prices on new 2017 Ford SUVs. Right now, take $8,000 off MSRP on new 2017 Ford Explorers, Edges, and Escapes. Visit us 24/7 at AikensFord.com.
Our homemade ice cream recipe calls for just a handful of natural ingredients, like extra cream, because at Turkey Hill, simple is best. All natural ice cream from Turkey Hill. Extra simple, extra good.
All right, a live view from our high-definition camera, and there are power outages in Midtown Atlanta. Right now, we're hearing about transformers blowing up and power lines on fire, and this is really causing dangerous conditions.
Our live severe weather Team 2 coverage continues with Channel 2's Aaron Diamond live in Midtown Atlanta. Aaron?
Wendy, we've got a very dangerous situation brewing actually in Midtown. I'm right at the corner of Peachtree and Ivan Allen Boulevard. And look, I want to show you something. See that traffic light right there? That is 90 degrees the wrong direction. It is actually supposed to be stopping traffic coming down Peachtree. And it can quickly get confusing. Look, over on this side, the one that's supposed to be stopping traffic on Peachtree is blown over facing Ralph McGill Boulevard. The bottom line, a lot of very dangerous situations out here on the roads. If you don't have to be out here, please don't be. We're live in Midtown. Aaron Diamond, Channel 2 Action News.
All right, Aaron, thank you, and thank you for joining us for this special extended live severe weather Team 2 coverage as Irma moves right into our area.
This is a live look outside at the rain and wind. Power is out, trees are down, some spots are flooded. We're back in just 90 seconds with coverage from North Georgia to the coast.
Do you experience heavy, tired, achy, or painful legs? Do you have leg cramps or restless leg? Do your ankles swell? Do you have bulging varicose veins? Vein Atlanta can help you. Learn more at VeinAtlanta.com.
It's not the turbocharged engine or the panoramic sunroof. It's not the heated seats or the driver assistance features. No, our greatest feature is one you don't even see. For 19 years, a portion of every Hyundai sold has gone to Hope on Wheels to help find a cure for childhood cancer. $130 million later, Hope is our greatest feature, and it comes standard on every Hyundai.
My heroes work hard, all day, every day. My heroes wake up really early just to make me a delicious breakfast from scratch. And they make me dinner too. And that's why my heroes are Bojangles Master Biscuit Makers.
At Bojangles, it's all about the biscuits. Come in for a Cajun filet biscuit combo. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Do you experience heavy, tired, achy, or painful legs? Do you have leg cramps or restless leg? Do your ankles swell? Do you have bulging varicose veins? Vein Atlanta can help you. Learn more at VeinAtlanta.com.
Breaking right now, Tropical Storm Irma is battering parts of Georgia. Streets flooded, trees knocked down.
This will require a crane to take this off.
Right now, more than 500,000 people across Georgia are without power.
We still have all the breath in our body, so we're not going to be down about it.
Thousands of National Guardsmen are ready to deploy to the hardest hit areas after Irma devastated parts of Florida. Trailers and campers overturned, houses tossed, and boats left in the road. President Trump says federal help is headed our way.
When Americans are in need, Americans pull together.
From Georgia to Florida, we have our reporters and photographers taking you to the worst of it as Severe Weather Team 2 tracks Irma's next move.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News at 4 p.m. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking as we come onto the air, the first death from Irma confirmed in Georgia is down in Worth County. Good afternoon. I'm Craig Lucy.
Hello, I'm Wendy Corona. Right now, more than 1 million customers are without power in Georgia. Closings are scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And we are now entering our 5th hour of continuous live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage as Irma moves right through. For days, Chief Meteorologist Glenn Burns and meteorologist Brad Nitz told you exactly what we could expect.
Let's get started now with Chief Meteorologist Glenn Burns live in Severe Weather Center 2.
And looking at our Storm Tracker 2 HD radar, some encouraging news now as we look toward the east.
Athens to Eatonton, that rain has really tapered off across the area, and we do expect that trend to continue moving toward Metro Atlanta over the course of the next couple of hours. In the meantime, we're dealing with some heavy rain and strong winds now from Atlanta to the west as we get into Cobb County, Paulding, Heard, Carroll County, southwestern Fulton, into Heard County and over toward northeastern LaGrange. So we're going to go back to Craig and Wendy now. The governor is about to make a statement.
Yeah, Glenn, we'll get back to you in a moment, but we do want to listen in as Governor Nathan Deal talks about this storm. His number one concern, though, people without power, so let's listen in right now.
Governor, first question, you've gotten the latest assessment. What is GEMA telling you about how things are going in the state?
Well, generally, they're going very well. The coastal area, especially in Camden County, has experienced an extreme amount of flooding, much worse than it was during Matthew. So we're diverting resources to them to be able to help them get through that stage of this storm. But overall, we think things have gone very well. We do have about 800,000 customers who are without power, and that's spread around our state. And as the storm continues to move through our state, those numbers will continue to grow. But I, here again, urge the public to be patient. If you're in a place that has water and power, you're fortunate, and we urge you to stay there. Don't get on the roads. There are going to be a lot of people on the roads, especially those who are out of state, who have come here from Florida in particular, who are going to be anxious to get home. So we don't want to hinder several groups, one of those groups being our utility and repair people who are going to be out there working to try to restore power wherever it's gone out. And so we have a great team in that regard from the private sector, and we're working to make their jobs a little easier. Our chainsaw crews and our debris removal crews are going to be active first thing sunlight tomorrow, and try to start down in the hardest hit area there on the southern part of our coast, and then we will work our way back through the state.
We've heard as many as 15,000 cars heading back south, most of them probably from Florida evacuees. Obviously, they want to get back to their homes. But what message do you have to them? I mean, obviously, it's still very dangerous out on the interstates right now.
Well, it is very dangerous. We're trying to make sure that there's an orderly progression back on our interstates going south. Our Georgia State Patrol will be there, and they will try to monitor that and to facilitate it. I understand there are a couple of places on I-16 where trees are across the road. They're in the process now with our tree removal group to get those cleared. So, but it's still going to be a slow process, and we urge people that are on the interstate to be sure that they do everything to remain safe. We will have our hero units and our other emergency units that will be there, along with numerous state patrolmen who will be there to facilitate that flow of traffic. But it's going to take people being cooperative and not losing their patience as they try to move south again.
So is it safe to go out now?
It's not safe until everybody gives the clearance. And one of the things that is very important, of course, is that there are bridges that are affected under these kinds of circumstances, and the Department of Transportation has a crew that is going to be making inspections of the bridges, and they have to do so before we will open those roads and bridges up to the public.
Governor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was Governor Nathan Deal giving us the latest assessment after he toured GEMA headquarters just the past couple of minutes. He got a full update, a full briefing with GEMA. So that is at GEMA, there's Georgia DOD, and other agencies that are here, including GDOT. One of the most interesting things that we heard earlier today is the flow of traffic headed back south. 15,000 cars on I-75 south between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. They think most of those are Florida evacuees trying to get back. So you heard the governor say that you need to get all those people off the road because right now the interstates are not safe. We'll continue staying here at GEMA. We'll bring you the latest throughout the day. We're live in Southeast Atlanta. Richard Elliott, Channel 2 Action News.
Richard, thank you for that. He says the interstates are not safe, and also he wants to keep those roads clear for all of the responders who will be going in and assessing the areas. He said to leave it open for utility and repair folks to do their job. Right now, though, let's get right back to our Chief Meteorologist, Glenn Burns. He's live in Severe Weather Center 2, as is Brad Nix.
Yeah, we last left you looking at a little closer view of our Storm Tracker 2 HD radar, and we're looking at these yellow and orange colors. They signify, of course, the heavier rain, but also the strongest wind as well. That continues now to evolve into Cobb County, Paulding, southwestern Fulton County, Douglas County, Carroll County, western and central Coweta County, Heard, Troup, and Meriwether County, and you can see that pushing off to the west rather quickly at about 50 miles per hour. Now, I want you to notice something else here. If you look at our peak wind gust, last hour was at 56 miles per hour at the airport, now down to 49 miles per hour. The peak wind gust also decreasing in Griffin to 35 miles per hour, maintaining about a 38 mile per hour wind gust here in Carrollton and a 25 mile per hour wind gust in LaGrange. But I don't know if you can see it just off the screen here. If you look closely over toward Macon, the wind has really gone down dramatically, down to a 31 mile per hour wind gust now, and the rain has really tapered off in earnest here. You can certainly see that stretching from Augusta to Eatonton to Macon, a general sharp line here of a decreasing rain, and you can see where that's going, right toward Metro Atlanta. That is certainly some good news. Now, even though the winds are still rather strong, the less rain we have to loosen the soil, to loosen the root systems of any trees, the better. So we're looking at a little improving situation here. Winds in Athens gusting to 48. 45 mile per hour wind gust observed now in Gainesville, only a 2 mile per hour wind gust in Blairsville, 26 to 28 here from Calhoun into Rome. Now, rainfall amounts so far today between an inch and an inch and a half, so we're going to see a decrease in the amount of rain we're going to see. Anywhere from 1 to 3 additional inches might be what we're going to see over the course of the next couple of hours. Charleston, South Carolina, we are getting hammered here. That city basically underwater right now. We're getting what we call an extremely long fetch, a distance that the wind travels across water. It's traveling a great distance here. You can see heavy rain here in South Carolina, and that wind coming in onshore. There's no place for the water to go out. So the battery there, downtown Charleston, the last report I had was 10 feet of water in downtown Charleston. So a really flooding situation really evolving here in South Carolina. We'll keep you posted, and we're going to go back to Craig and Wendy right now.
All right, Glenn, thank you for that. And so far, we've seen the coastal areas get the brunt of the wild weather and also the flooding.
Yeah, check out this video from the Brunswick Police Department. They posted this on their Facebook page. Look at this. The wind is so strong, the stoplights were just flying there in the air. Channel 2's Chris Jose continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage down there in Brunswick. Chris?
And Craig, the wind's really starting to pick up back again. That is Fancy Bluff Creek back behind me. You can see since we last spoke at 3 o'clock, the water has really started to recede here. That's all the debris that washed up on Glen Avenue, the main road towards the causeway. You take a look down there, about 200 yards away from us. That's a National Guard. They set up a roadblock out there in the last hour, deterring people to get out of here, to get out of this area. That's the causeway that goes towards St. Simon's Island. Of course, nobody can go there just yet. They actually shut that road down at 8:30 this morning, and nobody can get back in, at least not yet. Check out Lanier Plaza here. This is the Winn-Dixie, completely underwater still, much higher earlier this afternoon. About 15 minutes ago, we spoke to some homeowners out here who rode the storm out. Take a listen.
Oh my God, it was so windy, really windy. I mean, scary. I mean, the trees were just, you could just hear them crackling, and we all like got in the bedroom. I put my 2 little girls in the bedroom.
You're right around seeing big trees, you know, certain parts of the stores where you get gas at the top of the roofs and all blown over.
And I just got an email from the Glenn County Board of Commissioners, and they are urging residents who stayed here to continue to shelter in place. For those who didn't evacuate, there is no re-entry to Glenn County, at least not yet. Live in Brunswick, Chris Jose, Channel 2 Action News.
What a mess. Good to see that water is receding there, though. Look at this damage. This is in Gwinnett County. The homeowners told us that they're bracing for more destruction after this tree came crashing down on top of their roof.
Channel 2's Ricky Klaus continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage from Decula.
We're at Old Fountain Road and Old Peachtree Road in Decula. Take a look at that pine tree. It's split in half and landed on this house here on the corner. The renters were not inside. We were inside of the house earlier, and we saw beams on the floor. The roof is just split open, and so rain is pouring inside. There's insulation hanging from the ceiling. Nicole Cobb told us that not much is damaged, thankfully, but she said a drum set is.
I was just telling them yesterday that we were probably going to have a tree fall on our house because, I mean, with the winds and all of our trees around our house, you never know. The worst part of the storm hasn't even come, so hopefully it doesn't get worse.
The roof is literally split in half. Cobb says they're going to stay with friends since they can't stay at this home for the time being. They're unsure their next steps, whether they'll find a new home or this one will be fixed. Reporting in Gwinnett County, Ricky Klaus, Channel 2 Action News.
Right now, still dealing with very heavy rain and gusty winds here, especially western suburbs of Atlanta, where winds are gusting around 30 to 40 miles per hour. We'll continue to update you through the newscast. We'll have an extended forecast coming up.
Stay with Channel 2 Action News for minute-by-minute developments as Irma moves through Georgia. Our crews are spread out across the state and in Florida, surveying the new damage.
Right now, trees are down across the metro area on homes and blocking streets.
I was just scared that it was going to hit the power lines.
Our Severe Weather Team 2 coverage continues with the work happening in neighborhoods to clean up the mess. That's next, live.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. Your home sold, guaranteed. MarkSpain.com.
Channel 2's Glenn Burns is Atlanta's chief meteorologist. He leads the most reliable team of meteorologists, assembled the most cutting-edge tools, and called it right when lives are on the line.
I just want to keep your family safe.
Only on Channel 2 Action News.
I'm Justin Farmer. At Channel 2 Action News, we bring you straight into the moments happening now. Closer with News Chopper 2's HD camera and a fleet of drones. Channel 2 Action News. Every day, 4, 5, and 6. Coverage you can count on.
We are Montlick & Associates.
Proudly serving Georgia for over 33 years.
If you've been injured, call 1-800-LAW-NEED to speak with a Montlick attorney. With over $1 billion recovered for our clients here in Georgia, our experience pays.
At Pollo Tropical, we've been making the food you crave since 1988. Like our chicken, citrus marinated for 24 hours, then fire grilled to lock in the flavors. Now for a limited time, feed your craving with a Pollo meal deal. Half chicken with your choice of one of our delicious sides for only $5.99. Or feed your loved ones with the original family meal, a whole chicken with family-sized portions of homemade rice and corn for $12.99. We're putting the Pollo back in Pollo Tropical.
If you need a new mattress and you need it fast, Rooms To Go has a great selection. Like this set starting at just $299. Or how about this set for $399? Check out great brands like these for $499. Or these cozy mattress sets for $599. Here's what $699 buys: $799, $899, and $999. The fact is, Rooms To Go has your perfect mattress set at your perfect price, and you can get it tomorrow. See our complete selection now at Rooms To Go.
We the people. We are innovators, dreamers, leaders. Yeah, we feel pain. We get tired, but it won't stop us. God's call is our pursuit, and we will champion His name.
After an accident, you don't want to say anything that could be mistakenly used by the insurance company to reduce or deny your valid claim.
It's safer to speak with a Montlick attorney first. Call 1-800-LAW-NEED for your free consultation.
And from Severe Weather Center 2, right now, a pretty good lull occurring in the rain between Athens and Eaton over toward Augusta. But heavy rain bands continue now west of Atlanta, mainly along into the west of I-85. These rain bands producing some very gusty winds at 37-mile-per-hour wind gust observed at Carrollton. In Atlanta, 47-mile-per-hour wind gust at the airport. We've seen much stronger winds than any surrounding area this afternoon. Winds are gusting to 35 in Griffin, and north at 25 is the wind gust being observed in LaGrange. I'll show you that trend of drier weather coming in the next couple of hours will continue, along with the wind forecast for you coming up.
Now take a look at these pictures out of DeKalb County. This tree came down in Decatur's Winona Park. In the last 15 minutes, DeKalb County Police ask that you only call 911 if it's a life-threatening emergency. They say they are getting a lot of calls about power lines. They only want to hear about life-threatening emergencies on 911. And we want to also see your pictures on social media using the hashtag StormWatchOn2. whenever safe to send them. Now, we just checked in the last 5 minutes, and more than 748,000 Georgia Power customers are without power. There are about 375,000 Georgia EMC customers with no power at this time, and the threat throughout the evening is falling trees and, of course, those power outages, which so many are seeing. Right now, numbers from Georgia Power and the state's EMCs show more than 1 million customers are in the dark in the state.
And throughout the afternoon, we just watched those numbers increase by the hour. Just incredible. Now, we've also watched power crews check the damage after trees fell and a strong gust of wind move through the area. Channel 2's Jim Strickland continues our live severe weather Team 2 coverage in Spalding County. And Jim, as we can see behind you, you found several trees that have been down during this storm.
That's right. In fact, Greg, an hour ago, I reported how this giant pine tree had blocked access to a neighborhood back here on Sunset Drive. Well, neighbors took it upon themselves to cut through this tree themselves. You can see that there are still power lines involved here. That's a Georgia Power line. They didn't get that close, but they came pretty close, and that would not be advised for anyone else considering taking it upon themselves to cut the tree down. Now, I want to show you some video that we shot earlier. Again, this is another situation where a tree limb did some damage and took out some power. These are customers of Griffin Power, closer to downtown, just off South Hill Street. And I can tell you that this power crew could only focus on removing the tree limb, but could not get up to the pole to fix the lines because Griffin Power and several of the EMCs around here had to take the bucket trucks off the street and ground them. I talked to a foreman about that.
We're grounding trucks now. The winds got too high, and we're just going to have to sit and wait.
How important is it? And are you frustrated that you know you've got customers out, but to keep your men safe and your women, that you just can't get up there?
Yeah, it's very frustrating, you know. I mean, we got a job to do and want to do it, but, you know, right now weather's not permitting.
As Glenn has been reporting, the rain has diminished somewhat here, and I can tell you that the wind has died down a bit as well. Hopefully those bucket trucks can get back onto the street, work here, and work several other places across Middle Georgia and Upper Georgia, especially Spalding County, because they could use it. Reporting live, Spalding County, Griffin, Jim Strickland, Channel 2 Action News.
They certainly could use it. It's already been a very busy afternoon for power and fire crews in Cobb County, and it will likely be that way throughout the evening.
Yep, Channel 2's Ross Cavett is live in Marietta, where firefighters just left a tree down and are likely to head to another. That seems to be the theme here, Ross.
Absolutely. We're in a neighborhood up on toward the top of Black Shack Mountain, which makes the winds a little bit brisker up here on the mountain. And it a little bit ago snapped a tree behind me that fell and damaged a work van here. Fortunately, nobody was in that work van. This is a situation happening in every corner of Cobb County. Trees going down, blocking roads everywhere. Unfortunately, not enough firefighters and police to really close the roads to deal with them, and people are driving a little bit too crazy. There's been several close calls. A little bit ago, I talked to a tree service guy as he was running from one place to another, and a witness who saw two trees fall that blocked Church Road in Smyrna.
I was surprised to see it. I was just scared that it was going to hit the power lines and the power was going to go off. Luckily, we still have power.
Were you just happened to be looking outside at the time?
No, I was on my computer and I just seen something move, and when I looked up and I seen, you know, the crackling that the trees make when it come down? That's what I seen.
It's a combination of the saturation of the ground and then big deciduous trees up in this area aren't like the trees in Florida. They're used to dealing with sustained winds. You get anything over 20, 30 miles an hour sustained and things just start coming down.
And that was one very busy guy who said he had more calls than he could handle. They were running from one call to another. And again, we got about a good 20-mile-an-hour wind gust up here just a few minutes ago. That's really all that it will take for a lot of these trees to come down. This is a problem that will continue into the evening. The fire departments here with Cobb and Marietta and Smyrna, they've got teams in place ready to deal with them when they happen. We're live near Blackjack Mountain in Cobb County. Ross Cavett, Channel 2 Action News.
And breaking right now, streets are flooded and more than 1 million Georgians are without power. We have reporters and photographers taking you to the hardest hit areas.
And look at the flooding in Jacksonville, Florida. The National Guard is now helping those trapped in the water.
And
maybe you're a Florida evacuee trying to figure out when it's a good time to leave Georgia. We have an idea of what you'll face on your trip back home.
Weather brought to you by Motley & Associates. Over $1 billion recovered since 1984.
In our commitment to education, Channel 2 has partnered with the Atlanta Families Awards for Excellence in Education. Winners are presented with an award that they may use to further educational causes. Channel 2 and the Atlanta Families Awards celebrate a commitment to education.
One of the biggest misconceptions about vein disease is that it is a cosmetic issue only, when in fact it is a serious medical condition in many cases.
Over 80 million people suffer with spider veins and varicose veins. Do you?
People with vein disease have a genetic predisposition to develop broken valves.
Varicose vein disease occurs when weak or damaged valves cause blood to pool in your veins. For over 30 years, Vein Clinics of America has been the leader in easy, effective treatment of spider and varicose veins. Call or go online to schedule your consult and see what Vein Clinics of America can do for you.
All our treatments are performed here in the office. Everything is done on an outpatient basis, and you're able to walk out of here after each procedure and resume to your normal activities.
Our job is to close the broken veins and make sure they stay closed, and identify any new abnormalities that develop as early as possible.
Find out why more women and men trust their legs to Vein Clinics of America. Book your consult right now. Vein Clinics of America.
Today we're finally getting our bathtub redone. We weren't happy with it.
Oh, we didn't want the headaches of demolition.
Or the days without our bathroom. Then a friend told us about Bath Fitter and their unique tub-over-tub process. There's no demolition, and they install in as little as a day. They also have a seamless wall for a watertight fit. And Bath Fitter has a lifetime guarantee. What a difference. Finally, a bathtub I love.
Call today or learn more at bathfitter.com.
Hi folks, Johnny Stivers here for Stivers Decatur Subaru. It's the Subaru A Lot to Love event, and it's going on now at Stivers Subaru in Decatur. Folks, now is the time to take advantage of 0% financing for up to 63 months on remaining 17 Subaru Outbacks. 18s are on the way, and that means now is the time to get that great deal on your new Outback. 0% for up to 63 months rarely happens in the Subaru world. Come out today while selection is still great. This deal will not last. 0% on 17 Outbacks at Stivers Decatur Subaru, where price sells cars.
The new Steak and Shake Prime Steak Burger. The world's best big burger. 6 ounces of the finest all-natural brisket and shuck. So big, you have to put a steak knife in it. A Prime Steak Burger. Only at Steak and Shake.
Irma has sent waves crashing along Georgia's coast. A viewer sent us this bit of video of the beach at Tybee Island along 19th Street. You can see the waves crashing there. Of course, high wind along the coast. Show us your videos and your pictures on social media with the hashtag StormWatchOn2. Right now, a view a little bit closer to home. This is a view from our HD tower cam looking at Midtown Atlanta. Very dark, very gray. The camera there trembling a bit from the wind. Of course, we continue to monitor the situations, and here from the studio, we do hear quite a bit of the rain pitter-pattering on top of the roof here. Now, straight across Florida on the Panhandle, there are major power outages as well as gas shortages.
Yeah, Channel 2's Nicole Carr continues our severe weather Team 2 coverage in Tallahassee. Nicole, residents there, they really dodged the brunt of the storm, but they are still facing a lot of problems in Florida.
Yeah, really thankful, really grateful, but still facing some issues here. You know, in Georgia, we took in a lot of Florida evacuees, and we've been hearing folks ask, you know, when is it a good time to go back? What will I face? And good news, in the past 15 minutes, the store owner here at this gas station took up the sandbags. The doors are back open, and this parking lot that was empty in the last hour is now full of cars, people getting their gas supply. Wasn't the story between Panama City Beach and Tallahassee, that trip we took this morning? Lots of businesses closed, caps on gas, and power outages.
We were on the last flight out of Atlanta.
We happened to meet Catherine LaRosa in Tallahassee Monday afternoon. She and her husband weren't sure how to navigate Irma.
When we got to the airport, it was deserted. And the plane was full of first responders and FEMA medical personnel.
Sandbags and tape tell the story of many businesses across the Georgia and Alabama state lines. Overnight, we met this man from Satellite Beach in our evacuee hotel in Panama City Beach. When do you plan on going back?
Whenever I can, honestly. Right now, I don't know what it's doing or how I can even get home with the track that it's going, so whenever it's safe.
And while northwestern Florida didn't take a direct hit, fierce winds took down large trees across Tallahassee, bringing down power lines and leaving more than 45,000 in the city and surrounding areas without power. This is what we found in La Rosa's neighborhood Monday morning.
Things have been really, really lucky.
Right, so now that you see the power is back on and the stores opening back up, you see the long lines here. If you're making that trip, it's a good idea to have two things. Have cash on you in case power is out and you can't get through with the ATMs and can't get your money out. And also to have some kind of gas app to see which of these stores are open because, you know, we rode around for a long time and saw a lot of them closed. So just be prepared for anything on that trip back. Live in Tallahassee, Nicole Carr, Channel 2 Action News.
Still observing very heavy rain from Atlanta to the west, but really tapering off dramatically to the south and east of Atlanta. Will that trend continue? And what are the winds that you can expect over the next several hours in your neighborhood? We've got some new information to show you on that. It's next.
Irma giving the city of LaGrange all can handle, taking extra precautions here at the police department. Live report straight ahead.
And crews blocked off roads after rain sent trees down on power lines.
I heard the tree snapping. Then when I was licking it, just started following real slow motion.
The other danger as drivers approached from both sides.
The Fish and Game Report is brought to you by EMC Security.
Glitz, glam, and zombies.
Movie shoots are happening all over Georgia.
Channel 2's Jovita Moore and Justin Farmer get you on the set of the biggest shows filming in Georgia.
Have we seen this in a film, or will we?
Not yet, you will. How The Walking Dead has become big business for one local town, and the locals getting their big movie break.
When I talk to Oprah, I call everybody in.
Georgia's Gone Hollywood. Wednesday at 8 p.m., only on Channel 2. A family-to-family special.
Dinner tonight.
Hi, I'm Chef John with Kroger, and this is what we're cooking for dinner tonight. Mexican ground beef tortilla casserole with green chilies, tomatoes, mushrooms, and sharp cheddar cheese.
For the full recipe, visit KrogerDinnerTonight.com.
Oh, boy.
It's gonna be good.
Did this just stop on its own?
Yeah.
Is that a touchscreen? Does it have Bluetooth?
All came standard.
Came standard? Wow, that's unbelievable. This guy, huh?
He's giving it to him.
You won't believe what standard can do. Get 0% APR for 72 months on a new 2017 Toyota Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
Vikings didn't actually have horns on their helmets.
Ostriches don't really stick their heads in the sand.
Peanut is not a nut.
And a real John Deere is actually real affordable.
You learn something new every day. The surprisingly affordable John Deere E-Series tractors. Now you can own America's tractor for just $129 per month. Learn more at your John Deere dealer.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Come in today for a Cajun filet biscuit combo. A perfectly seasoned chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch biscuit, served with your choice of fixin' and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Boom! Out of nowhere, I was hurt in a car wreck.
I called Ken after my wreck, and boom, he got me $350,000.
Boom, baby.
Now, I can't guarantee you that much, but if you've been hurt, call me. One call, that's all.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN.
Do you know a Metro Atlanta educator who deserves recognition and $7,500? Submit your nomination by September 30th. Visit WSB-TV.com/community for eligible districts. Family to family and Kroger. Community coverage you can count on.
Now your local forecast from Chief Meteorologist Glenn Burns and Severe Weather Team 2.
And right now on our Storm Tracker 2 HD radar, you can certainly see these areas of yellow and orange, indicating the heaviest rain now around downtown Atlanta, points to the west and southwest of Atlanta, even a few pockets of heavy rain extending to the northeast into the northeast Georgia mountains. But it really tapers off in earnest here as we get out toward Eatonton and Lake Country and then over toward Augusta. We look for that trend to continue over the next several hours as the heavier rain bands will move on to the northwest of Atlanta. So some good news there. I do expect a big improvement in our weather beginning after 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. In the meantime, dealing with some strong wind gusts around the area. The winds are gusting at the airport, north-northeast at 47 miles per hour. Athens, your peak wind gust coming from the east-northeast is at 51 miles per hour. The peak wind gust in Griffin now down to 35 miles per hour, was 40 last hour. Gainesville looking at a peak wind gust of 45, and even in Calhoun we ramped it up a bit with the peak winds coming in from the north at 33 miles per hour. Want to update you on the rainfall totals between 1.5 to 2 inches now, and you can see the motion of the rain is moving along to the northwest at about 50 miles per hour, so really moving at a large rate of speed. So again, with the gusty winds and the heavy rain, more trees will go down on power lines, and we do expect more power outages, but the flooding concerns, not a great concern there. And in case you're just joining us, this wedge of cool air, look at the temperature in Atlanta, 61 degrees, really preventing any tornado threat across northern Georgia, something we are very grateful to have right now, that wedge of cool air covering us. All right, let's take a look at your forecast as we go through the 4 o'clock hour. Again, the peak wind gusts here are anywhere from 40 to about 50 miles per hour, what we kind of expected here. As we go toward 9 o'clock tonight, the peak winds could be increasing a little bit, maybe up toward Gainesville with a peak wind gust of 51. We'll have to watch that again with the exact track, still a little bit uncertain, but the center of Irma beginning now to move toward the eastern part of Alabama from South Georgia. 48 mile per hour wind gusts is what we can expect in Atlanta, and up in Calhoun, maybe 43 mile per hour wind gusts. But look what happens as we get through the overnight hours. We were a little concerned yesterday this might be an overnight event, but things are developing rather quickly now. So much of the wind will be gone by 2 a.m., maybe a little windy up in the North Georgia mountains, but a peak wind gust here in Atlanta, less than 20 miles per hour as we get just after midnight, and that trend continues through the day tomorrow. So we're going to have a little bit of rain tomorrow, but not much and not much wind, and it'll be time for everybody to start cleaning up. So let's take a look at that forecast beginning at midnight. Lighter rains across northern Georgia, and as we go through the overnight hours, those lighter rains begin to taper off at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You can see the general trend here with that rain becoming lighter and really tapering off, becoming a little bit more scattered as we get toward the overnight hours. My 5-day forecast now, we're looking at the chance of rain tomorrow right around at 40% with a high of 68 degrees, so another cool day. Now, Wednesday, we'll see maybe a 30% chance of rain and a high of 77, but it really clears up nicely. It's hot again, too. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, looking at high temperatures climbing back into the low to middle 80s, and we'll see partly cloudy skies through the weekend. And with your weekend always in view, looks like next weekend we're going to have a pretty decent one, and we'll have more of that in the forecast coming up for you tonight at 5. And I'll be back with an updated evening outlook and another check of Storm Tracker 2 HD radar coming up.
Breaking news right now, we now have our first confirmed storm death here in the metro area. A tree fell on a home in Sandy Springs, killing the man inside. This is on Hardeman Drive. We do have a Channel 2 Action News reporter and photographer heading to that scene to gather more information. We'll bring you that live report as soon as they get there.
And we have also seen quite a few reports of trees down all throughout the metro area.
Meteorologist Katie Walls continues our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage in Douglas County right on Elma Street. And I was just looking at the radar. Katie, you look like you're in the thick of it.
I'm currently at the corner of Elma Street and Cornelia Drive, and this is a scene that we just arrived to. We were told to stand back. We were told to stand back by officials because there are live wires down. We have this tree. We're told that it was a dead tree, so unsurprisingly, it came down with this intense rainfall with these big wind gusts. Came down on the power line. That power line is currently live. They have called crews. Crews are currently on their way to cut power, but right now, we have a house behind this section that is completely cut off. Now, it's unclear if there are people inside or not, but obviously if they are out there, then they need to make sure they stay inside. But as far as we know, we are as far away as we can be safely. Again, we're at the corner of Elma and Cornelia Drive in Douglasville. Unfortunately, more scenes like this expected to continue as the brunt of the remnants of Irma impact the West Metro. I'm live in Douglasville. Severe Weather Team 2 meteorologist Katie Walls, Channel 2 Action News.
A curfew is now in place in Lowndes County because of the dangerous conditions in South Georgia. This is video from Valdosta early this morning when the winds first started to pick up. They were gusting up to 60 miles an hour overnight. Deputies say that curfew is in effect. Power outages, they are rising by the minute as Tropical Storm Irma moves into metro Atlanta. Now, we just checked, and more than 115,000 Georgia Power customers are without power just in DeKalb County. In all, Georgia Power says crews will restore power for more than 748,000 customers. They'll do that when it's safe. About 375,000 Georgia EMC customers are also in the dark.
More than 1 million. Incredible. Now, those strong wind gusts and pelting rain, they are really hitting Troup County right now.
Let's check in with Channel 2's Barron Peterson. He continues our live severe weather Team 2 coverage. He's in LaGrange, where they've taken extra steps to protect the police department there. Barron?
Yeah, they're doing some work out here in the HQ. Follow me around the corner here, and you can see they got tarps and sandbags along this lower section of the building to keep Irma out. So far, so good. But this storm really giving an area a bust on the chops. But folks we talked to say they can take it. Driving rain across the city of LaGrange Monday afternoon, getting worse by the hour. For those who've been around here long enough to remember, Irma reminds them of Opal.
That was pretty rough. We had a lot of power outages, a lot of limbs down, all that kind of stuff. It was pretty rough. So we're hoping that was not going to be quite as bad.
Some gassing up along Lafayette Parkway wanted to top off the tank in case there was a shortage. Others are filling up because they have a long drive ahead. Contractor Josh Holloway going from North Carolina to Biloxi, Mississippi.
We just got to do what we got to do. If the boss says to go down there, we got to try it. See what happens.
And others like Peter Aspinwall will stay put. But they're far from home. His house is in southwest Florida. He wisely ran away from Irma, but the storm has followed.
A little bit of salt in the wounds, but it's kind of relative. I think we can be okay through this. We're up on the 3rd floor, and I don't think we're going to get wet, or hopefully. And I hope everybody's okay, but for me, this is very relative, compared to what we've got going.
So far, LaGrange police say damage around here has been minor, and from the looks of the radar, very soon we'll be out of the woods. We're live in Troup County. Barron Peterson, Channel 2 Action News.
Breaking right now, hundreds of flights canceled and empty checkpoint lines at Atlanta's airport as Irma batters part of Georgia. We're talking with passengers left stranded during this major storm.
And as emergency officials prepared for Irma, they took a moment to remember those killed during 9/11. A message from President Trump as the nation paused to honor the victims.
Channel 2 Action News, sponsored by Atlanta Toyota, Georgia's #1 volume Toyota dealer.
He is an extraordinary young man. He has genius-level skills, and he sees things and analyzes things in ways that we can't even begin to understand.
The Good Doctor, premieres September 25th on ABC.
Health is having the freedom to do what you want to do with your life every single day. So at Aetna, we promise to keep finding new ways to join you so nothing gets in your way. Because no matter where it is you're going, or whatever stage of life you're in, we believe that when it comes to health, you don't join us, we join you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pravosky from Vein Atlanta. Do you experience heavy, tired, achy, or painful legs? Do you have leg cramps from restless leg? Do your ankles swell? Do you have bulging varicose veins? We are experienced cardiovascular surgeons who specialize in total vein care. Isn't it time you came in for an evaluation and see how Vein Atlanta can help you? Learn more at veinatlanta.com.
Attention, Georgia Bulldogs fans. Papa John's is making this football season even better with a UGA 7-point deal. All season long, Dog Nation can enjoy 2 large, 2-topping pizzas for only $7.77 each. Go to papajohns.com and enter online promo code UGA because every great team deserves a great pizza. Get the UGA 7-point deal online today, only from Papa John's, the official delivery pizza of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hurt in a car wreck.
After my wreck, I called Ken. Boom! He got me $325,000.
Bones, baby!
Now, I can't guarantee you that much, but if you've been hurt, call me. One call, that's all.
All right, look at this. A viewer posted this video on Facebook of this raccoon trapped in these floodwaters. Right there, you can see the raccoon clinging on that tree on St. Simon's Island. Hopefully, he got out safely. Make sure that you send us your video and pictures safely if you can do it. Just use the hashtag StormWatchOn2. Also, we want to give you live pictures and aerial view. You are looking at the Keys, where local officials there say, quote, the Keys are not open for business. You can see what is left of some structures there in the palm trees, a lot of homes there leveled, boats coming off of docks and ending up in roads. One person described it as a, quote, war zone. We will continue to follow the developments out of Florida and here in Georgia, right here on Channel 2 Action News.
And as we continue to feel Irma's impact, we're also remembering the 16th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. Lowndes County emergency officials took time out from response operations for a brief 9/11 service. During the 41-second memorial service, Commissioner Ashley Ty honored the victims and their sacrifice during the attacks. In Virginia, President Donald Trump gave a speech at the Pentagon.
But where they left a mark with fire and rubble, Americans defiantly raised the stars and stripes.
The president also spoke about Tropical Storm Irma and Hurricane Harvey, saying when Americans face hardship, we emerge stronger than ever. Now, from New York to Pennsylvania to Virginia, the nation paused to remember the victims of the September 11th terror attacks. To share this video of the families reading the victims' names, just go to our WSB-TV Facebook page.
We are staying on top of the breaking weather coverage. Here is a look at historic flooding that Irma caused in parts of Florida. You can see this is downtown Jacksonville. It is underwater. If you go to the Georgia-Florida game near the landing, it is a mess. We're going to take you to this disaster zone.
And some locally heavy rainfall in Atlanta into the west, but tapering off dramatically toward the east. What you can expect next in my evening outlook.
And a 10-year-old evacuated from Florida, killed during a confrontation in a DeKalb County driveway.
I heard this noise up here, and I called the police.
The frightening commotion before he called 911.
Want to have lunch with Kelly and Ryan?
I like it.
Yeah! You're the guest to win a trip to New York, including airfare, hotel, tickets to live, and more. Here's how to enter.
Watch for the daily trivia question and go to WSB-TV.com/contests.
4 more days till the weekend. Great. Will that stop Kirsten Dunst from having fun? Plus Gabriel Rock and Miss America next live.
Come on with Don, sponsored by AutoNation.
Portions of Channel 2 Action News at 4 are brought to you by Zero Res.
Hi, it's Madison James here with Patrick from Zero Res, and today Patrick's going to tell us more information about air duct cleaning and why it's so important.
It's absolutely important that we take care of the air in our home. You know, the EPA listed indoor air quality as one of the top 5 major threats to Americans. It's more important than we realize. You want to make sure that you have the air ducts in your house cleaned properly by the right kind of company.
And when someone's looking to pick a company, what do they need to look for?
Really, there are a bunch of little things, but 2 really important things. 1, reputation. 2, equipment. So make sure that you're not just letting anybody into your house. Make sure you do your homework and you bring the right company in. Secondly, equipment is vital. Make sure that they're cleaning with truck-mounted equipment and not portable equipment. Portable equipment isn't certified and it doesn't have the strength to properly clean your air ducts.
And what great offer do you have for our viewers today?
Call today and get your dryer vent cleaned for free.
Thanks for stopping by today, Patrick. For more information, go to ZeroResAtlanta.com.
Celebrate the exceptional every day with Private Selection. With gourmet ingredients and unique flavors that make the magic in every meal. Private Selection makes every occasion brighter. Transform something to eat into something to savor with Private Selection, exclusively at Kroger.
I was on my way to work and boom, some guy rear-ended me.
Boom! Just like that, I was hurt in a car wreck.
A car wreck can hit you out of nowhere. But when you call me, boom! Just like that, I can help you get your life back on track. After my wreck, I called Ken, and boom! He got me $325,000.
$725,000 for my case. Boom, baby!
Now, I can't guarantee you that much, but if you've been hurt, call me. One call, that's all.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN.
We are staying on top of breaking news. One of our viewers used Facebook to post this video of flooding. This is inside of her home on St. Simon's Island. As you can see, there is a good bit of water covering the floor there. You can show us your videos and pictures on social media. Please use the hashtag StormWatchOn2. Officials expect more people to lose power as Tropical Storm Irma moves through Metro Atlanta. We checked in the last minute. There are more than 748,000 Georgia Power customers who are without power. And in DeKalb County alone, shocking to me, more than 115,000 people do not have power at this time. Georgia EMC says about 375,000 customers lost power, and outages continue to rise by the minute.
I mean, look at those numbers. That is
staggering.
Incredible. So this rain and the wind gusts will continue throughout the evening as Irma passes through Georgia.
Let's get a look right now with Chief Meteorologist Glenn Burns. He's live in Severe Weather Center 2.
Yeah, that's always a concern. We have so many dead and dying trees across Metro Atlanta and northern Georgia, and they don't look like they're dead because they have leaves on them. But again, I've been reminding you that the trees actually die from the inside out. That's where they rot. So it may look nice on the outside, inside not so much. Might want to have one checked out by an arborist for next time. In the meantime, heavy rains continue from Atlanta to the west. They are moving to the northwest at about 50 miles per hour, but generally tapering off as we get south and east of Atlanta. I expect that trend to continue through the evening. So in my evening outlook, here's what you can expect. These showers will continue through 7 p.m. As we get toward 9 o'clock, we're looking at the cool temperatures continue at 61 degrees with showers. But after 9, wind should start to diminish. Showers will start to diminish. We're looking at temperatures still in the lower 60s. And it was that wedge of cool air that actually saved us today from any threat of tornadoes. So again, we're very grateful. It's cool. And we're going to look at what's ahead for tomorrow as the storm begins to move into northern Alabama as we get through the later part of this evening. I'll take a look at that with meteorologist Brad Ditz tonight at 5.
Glenn, thank you. We've shown you trees down across the area, and that will definitely have an impact as on your drive if you do have to get out there on the roads.
Let's check in right now with Triple Team Traffic's Ashley Frasca. She's live with all the areas to avoid, and there are plenty, Ashley.
That's right, Wendy and Craig. There are a lot of surface streets, really, to avoid. The interstate's not impacted so much. Folks are heeding the warnings to really stay off the interstates. Unfortunately, though, up in Bartow County, working crashes in both directions of I-75. They're trying to work on a jackknife tractor-trailer northbound at the Lake Allatoona Bridge, southbound the crash before Glade Road. And we're just off the phone with Sandy Springs authorities. They have reports of an overturned van. It's in the right lane, so be careful traveling 400 southbound below Northridge Road. We want to show you a list of some of those trees we've been telling you about. Gwinnett County is especially busy, and so is Sandy Springs. They've got Hammond Drive blocked east of Georgia 400, as we showed you earlier in the newscast. Many other streets there in Sandy Springs, very busy. Gwinnett County as well. And we want to take you live to Traffic Tracker 2 here in Cobb County. This is the Cobb Cloverleaf. You can tell not a lot of folks on the roads, but the rain coming in sideways. Those ramps, the transition ramps, are very tricky. Please be cautious and take your time. I'm Ashley Frasca, Channel 2 Action News.
Ashley, thank you. A 10-year-old boy who evacuated from Florida with his mother is dead. A car hit and killed him during an argument.
Channel 2's Liz Arts is in DeKalb County, where she spoke to a neighbor who called 911.
The neighbor told us the commotion was so bad he was afraid to come outside. He said at one moment it looked like there was a party going on at this house across the street. He said the next moment there was a dead child and police surrounding the house.
Too much yelling, so I was afraid and I called the police.
Yukanti KB has lived on this DeKalb County street for 20 years. He told me Monday his neighbor who lives across the street has lived there just as long. But overnight he said the commotion was so out of control he was compelled to call 911.
I thought we were having a party, and I was inside watching TV, and about 1:30 I heard a noise. So I decided to call the police.
Police say Brianna Robertson, who lives at the house, was involved in an altercation with Shira Slack. Lieutenant Lonzie Robertson told me Slack and her 10-year-old son Timothy Jones had evacuated from Florida and were staying on the street, but just visiting the home on Barber-Sheila Circle.
The altercation spilled outside. One of the people involved in the altercation was trying to leave. The other one confronted her at her vehicle. At some point, the 10-year-old approached the vehicle also.
That's when investigators say the 26-year-old struck the boy with her car and his mother, killing the child. Police are not releasing all the details right now in fear it could hinder the investigation. She was trying to get away from the situation to where she thought she was going to be harmed.
Right. Apparently, it looks like she felt it was an unsafe place to be, so she left the location in the vehicle.
We attempted to talk to this woman as she entered the house. We knocked on the door, but no one answered. Police say right now they don't plan on charging anyone involved. Police say that could change. They say the investigation is ongoing, but right now they tell us that they do not plan on charging anyone involved. In DeKalb County, Liz Arts, Channel 2 Action News.
A local peanut butter manufacturer has cleared out its warehouse to turn it into a staging area for the National Guard. Take a look at this storage facility, now filled with a lot of cots. This is in Tifton. Bell Plantation just sent us this video of National Guard members preparing to take action. They are staged and ready. Workers moved all of their supplies to make room for these troops deploying for Tropical Storm Irma recovery, as well as the aid that is needed.
We have seen quite a bit of this in Florida. The city of Jacksonville is swamped with floodwater.
Amazing pictures. We want to show you a video of what people are dealing with down there in my hometown. We continue our live Severe Weather Team 2 coverage with our sister station down in Jacksonville. Reporter Larry Spruill is spending much of the day taking part in a lot of canoe rescues.
We are still here in Orange Park in this parking lot. Well, I'm actually on a canoe. Got very close to it earlier, but we had to come over here because it was getting real windy. But this is a parking lot. This is a parking lot, but we are in, again, we're in a canoe because that's how deep the water is. You see, like how deep do you think this water is right now?
This water's about 4 feet.
About 4 feet.
About 4 feet.
But it seems like it's a little deeper where the car is at, though.
The car is probably like 4'8".
Wow. Have you ever seen this parking lot, this area get like this before?
No, I have not.
Wow. It's the first time.
This is the deepest I've ever seen it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, guys, so we're going to try again to get as close as we can to that car. And I'll let you know if we see anybody in there. We did not see from afar, but we're going to try to go over there again and try to get as close as we can to see is there anybody in that car or what can we see in that car as well.
Flooding and downed trees in local neighborhoods caused by Irma. Channel 2 Consumer Advisor Clark Howard will guide you through what you need to know if you have damage. That is all new coming up on Channel 2 Action News at 5 o'clock.
Rain really tapering off south and east of Atlanta, but still going strong from Atlanta to the western suburbs. What's ahead for you coming up?
And across Midtown, we have the heavy blowing rain and gusty winds. I'll show you how long that sticks around and when the winds will finally relax coming up at 5.
And today I talked with a nearly 106-year-old woman forced to evacuate her Florida home.
We had lowwoods, but nothing like that.
Why she said she wasted no time getting to safety.
I'm Justin Farmer. At Channel 2 Action News, we bring you straight into the moments happening now. Closer with News Chopper 2's HD camera and a fleet of drones. And we can see inside storms with 3D technology and the South's most powerful weather radar. Storm Tracker 2 HD. We bring you closer to local stories with details and video you can't get anywhere else. We invite you to join us. Channel 2 Action News. Every day, 4, 5, and 6. Coverage you can count on.
When you show up to work, your employer expects you to do your job. But if you're injured because of your job, you should expect that your employer will take care of you. The problem is that many times employers unlawfully refuse to pay their employees when they're hurt on the job. Our job is to make sure that your medical bills, loss of income, and the benefits available to you are paid immediately so that you and your family are taken care of. For more information, call Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
A real meal for a real deal. Steak and Shake's original double and cheese steak burger and a side of fries for under $4. Or get one with bacon, guacamole, or a farm fresh egg. They're all under $4. That's a real meal for a real deal. Only at Steak and Shake. Come into Steak and Shake for hand-dipped milkshakes. Better yet, come into Steak and Shake for hand-dipped fall milkshakes at half price during half-price happy hour. Weekdays now 2 to 5 at Steak and Shake.
There's a freedom about Asheville. An unspoken invitation to discover who you really are. Here, the world is a big, beautiful place, filled with adventure. Take it in. Visit Lonely Planet's best destination for 2017. and let the magic find you. Asheville. Discovery inside and out.
In celebration of our 45th birthday, get 45% off select Mako paint services and Meinike's oil change packages. A deal so good, you'll want to celebrate twice.
Come on! Main Event is big-time fun for everyone with over 50,000 square feet of bowling, video games, dining, and more. So head for fun. Head for Main Event. $7 Fun Donation is here. $7 per activity. All you can play for a limited time.
Hurricane Irma's path had it going near Anna Maria Island on Florida's west coast. A mandatory evacuation forced all residents off the island. One was a 105-year-old woman whose family and friends cleared a path to safety in Cobb County.
In order to preserve lives, we decided that it was best if we left.
And so began the process of moving great-grandma from her Anna Maria Island home on Florida's west coast. It's been Hal Keyser's home since 1976.
We never had that severe hurricane on the way. We've had low ones, but nothing like that.
105 3/4 years old, Hal's home has never flooded.
Oh, we've had it up halfway on our lawn, halfway up the driveway, but not in the house.
Family was not going to take a chance.
I flew from Cleveland to Tampa and drove down to Bradenton from Tampa. That's where I met up with the rest of the family.
These pictures show Hal's great-grandson Michael Tennyson prepping the beach house. Then a 3-car convoy of 6 adults and 1 child, Cobb County bound.
Gas was scarce, food was scarce, but we did it.
An 8-hour drive to Marietta took 10 hours.
We had a fun ride, really. 75 was boring, but we went off in 301 or something.
And arrived Sunday, 2 a.m. with family friends Debbie and Bob Holman.
We haven't needed a thing. Everything has been perfect.
Hal's treasured possessions of family pictures and a shadow box with an heirloom, pictures and a note from her mother are safely stored. But ask her and she'll tell you all that matters is being safe with family.
Yeah, I can't attribute anything that I have or am to anything but my family.
Such a good time hanging out with Hal and the family. Hal did evacuate during Hurricane Charlie, and family says that she was a little bit hesitant to leave this time. 5 generations of Hal's family are currently staying in the Holman's Marietta home.
Straight ahead on Channel 2 Action News at 5. Breaking news, Tropical Storm Irma is hammering Georgia, causing flooding and wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour.
Trees and power lines down all across Metro Atlanta. Right now, nearly 700,000 customers without power. And there's a major problem getting it restored tonight.
We're grounding trucks now. The winds got too high.
My cardiologist said, I don't want you to come back until you get something done about those teeth. That is the foundation of good heart health.
We're doing amazing transformations, and it's not just a smile, changes the person's total outlook.
At Clear Choice, we understand that your dental health impacts your total health.
Doing the best for your own personal health is what's important.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options. Call Clear Choice today.
It's Ford SUV season, and Ford is putting up some very impressive numbers. Here's another impressive number, 4,350. That's the total cash back you can now get on select Ford SUVs. The unstoppable Explorer, the adventurous Ford Escape, and the smart, stylish Ford Edge. Don't miss the impressive numbers during Ford's SUV season. Now, get up to 4,350 total cash back on select 2017 Ford SUVs. See your local Ford dealer today.
If you get in a wreck with a big truck like this, the truck may not even have a scratch. But if you're in the car, you could be in for a world of hurt. Commercial vehicles carry big insurance policies, but they're not just going to give up that money without a fight. We've handled hundreds of big truck cases and collected millions of dollars for our clients. Now, I can't guarantee you millions of dollars for your case, but if you get hurt, you know who to call. One call, that's all.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 2
Action News at 5 p.m. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, Tropical Storm Irma bearing down on Georgia. Dangerous wind gusts are knocking down trees and power lines.
All the sparks and airwaves flying around.
We have new video this hour of the damage and the effort to restore power for 750,000 people. And in just the past 45 minutes, we confirmed the first local death caused by Tropical Storm Irma. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Javita Moore.
I'm Justin Farmer. Right now, Tropical Storm Irma covering nearly in the entire state of Georgia. You can see how wide this storm has been as you look at Storm Tracker 2 HD radar.
And the same storm that caused devastation in the Caribbean and Florida is causing some major flooding across Georgia. This is new video into our newsroom from Tybee Island. And here's a look at what River Street in Savannah looks like this afternoon.
In Metro Atlanta, we've got some problems. Chiefly these downed trees, and now about 1.1 million people without power across Georgia.
We have dozens of reporters, photographers, producers, and meteorologists covering every angle of Irma's impact. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Glenn Burns. He's live in Severe Weather Center 2.
Javita still have some very heavy rainfall in arcs here that go from Gainesville and just to the west down across Atlanta and southwest toward LaGrange, moving to the northwest at about 50 miles per hour. Another heavy rain band has evolved here, mainly from about Walton County back into Rockdale County and Henry County. They contain the gustiest winds in this whole area across northern Georgia. Now, if we look farther to the east, past Eatonton toward Augusta, you can see that rain really tapers off, and that trend will continue to evolve and move across the metro Atlanta in the course of the next couple of hours. In the meantime, they show you the peak wind gust that we're seeing now. Here in Atlanta at the airport, the peak wind gust has been 46 miles per hour. 29 mile per hour wind gust in Griffin, 35 mile per hour wind gust now in Carrollton. In northwestern Georgia, seeing the winds pick up as well with a peak wind gust of 31 in Calhoun. 45 mile per hour peak wind gust up at Lakewood here in Gainesville. Athens reporting a wind gust of 44 miles per hour. But over the course of the next 4 hours, I do expect the winds after that to begin to taper off dramatically across North Georgia. And again, let me go back to that graphic, kind of skipped on through there, that we're looking at about 1.5 inches of rain in and around metro Atlanta. Slightly higher rainfall amount south of I-20, 2.2 inches now since it started in LaGrange, 2.2 inches around Eatonton, of just about 2 inches in and around Griffin. So some very heavy rainfall will continue, but the good news is that the heavier rains will begin to taper off over the next couple of hours, and that may mitigate more trees going down without the additional wet ground. And those strong winds will likely continue into the evening, and meteorologist Brad Ditz, the command center, with more on that part of the story.
Yeah, so this is one of these situations that's going to evolve slowly here for the next few hours. So we've got the wind gusts now that Glenn just told you about. Let's take a look at what we'll be dealing with here up at the top of the hour, about an hour from now. We're still looking at winds gusting at times or around 45 miles an hour generally. Occasionally could be a few higher gusts than that, between 45 and 50. You see there in Gainesville around 8 o'clock this evening. But a pretty widespread area of heavy rain with winds between that 40 and 50 mile an hour wind gusts right on through 10 o'clock. Notice farther to the south by 10 p.m. down towards Eatonton, near and to the south of Griffin, the winds starting to subside as the strongest wind max will move farther to the north. And by midnight, winds down to about 32 miles an hour in gusts across the metro area. And then overnight and into the morning hours, winds will taper off, and it'll be breezy tomorrow morning. Certainly that's at 7 a.m. with those 20, 25 mile an hour gusts. But that's certainly past the point where we would expect any additional damage. And then lighter breeze as we head into the afternoon tomorrow, 10 to 15 miles an hour. As far as rainfall goes, we're going to continue to be covered up in rain here through 6 o'clock. But as we head through the evening, we'll see the rain break up a bit as the winds start to gradually subside. So hang in there just a few more hours, and then we'll start to trend towards improving weather conditions. Glenn and I'll have another check of the wind and the rain coming up in just a few minutes.
And the breaking news out of Sandy Springs, police tell us that a tree fell on a home and killed a man. It's the first storm-related death in metro Atlanta.
Channel 2's Mike Pachenik is live on Hardeman Road in Sandy Springs. And Mike, you found trees and power lines down all over North Fulton County today.
Jovita, absolutely everywhere we've gone from Forsyth County on down to North Fulton, we've found trees down. And right here in Sandy Springs, firefighters and police are doing the difficult work of cutting through one of those trees that came onto a home here with a 55-year-old man inside. Unfortunately, he did not survive that. They have to stabilize the house to get inside. Those who are tasked with cleaning up these trees say this is going to be a difficult few days ahead.
So it will be a good amount of work to get it off the house.
Early Monday morning, the owner of this house on Kingston Drive in Sandy Springs awoke to the sounds of cracking branches and a falling tree.
The homeowner said normally he's drinking his coffee right here in the kitchen where the main hit was, and he just didn't have coffee this morning.
It was a similar situation for this family in North Forsyth County where high winds toppled this tree. And on busy Hammond Drive in Sandy Springs, police say this tree took out power lines, forcing a road closure. Jonathan Potts with Gunnison Tree Service says unlike most rain and wind events in North Georgia, this one will present challenges for crews.
In these situations, we have an emergency sitting here that all we can do is tarp this roof for the customer because we have winds that are coming through town for the next 6 to 12 hours, depending on how this storm reacts.
Potts says when the winds die down, the real work can begin. These evacuees from Florida were surprised the storm stayed this strong.
And you don't know what's going to happen. And then there's all these people around us that are in the same situation. And it's really hard.
And back out here live in South Sandy Springs where firefighters are cutting through that tree, trying to stabilize this house so they can get to the 55-year-old man inside who unfortunately died when that tree came crashing down onto the house. At this point, police are not releasing the man's identity because they're still trying to contact his family. Reporting live in Sandy Springs, North Fulton County, I'm Mike Pachenik, Channel 2 Action News.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Strong winds are blowing items off buildings, and that is making for dangerous situations around downtown Atlanta.
No question. As Channel 2's Aaron Diamond continues to live severe weather Team 2 coverage in Midtown Atlanta, where for a while people were looking up.
Yeah, Justin, definitely a wild afternoon, midtown, downtown Atlanta. First, I want to show you a very dangerous condition sort of that's still developing here. You can see this traffic light, which is actually facing 90 degrees the wrong direction. It's supposed to be stopping that southbound traffic down Peachtree Street, but it's blown all the way over. Very confusing situations for drivers at this intersection. Just one of many dangerous conditions as Irma tore through the heart of our city.
This is what it's been like. It's wet and windy. Seems to be getting worse, so gotta get it out of the way.
And Jason Patrick and his buddies had plenty of motivation after seeing this tree fall across Penn Street in Midtown to hook up a line to the back of his pickup truck and pull it out of the way.
We had 11 transformers blow already today, and there's a lot of fire trucks running around.
And just seconds later, we saw one of those fire trucks drive by from the scene of a transformer fire a block away that lit up the lines, knocking out power. This video shot by a Channel 2 Action News viewer. Earlier in downtown Atlanta, we watched Atlanta police officers scramble to haul off large metal panels that high winds blew off from high atop the 34 Peachtree building onto Peachtree Street and others nearby. Many streets in and around Woodruff Park now closed to keep people away. Irma's winds turned downtown Atlanta streets into wind tunnels, uprooting trees and bringing down too many branches to count. Meantime, with the tree Jason Patrick hauled away, now safely off the roads, his thoughts turned to the images of Irma's wrath as she tore her way up from Florida to Atlanta.
They're horrible. My brother lives in Fort Lauderdale and covered in water, but seems to be receding down there now, so it's getting a bit better.
And here's another live look at just another one of these traffic lights, again, that's pointing the wrong direction here off of Peachtree Street. We're seeing a lot more traffic out here on the roads. I don't know if folks are thinking this is letting up or what, but with more gusts that we're feeling right now, we're urging folks still to heed the warning of public officials, which is stay off these roads unless it's an absolute emergency. We'll keep looking for more damage out here tonight. We're live in Midtown Atlanta. Aaron Diamond, Channel 2 Action News.
Power outages on the rise right now. When we just checked, more than 115,000 Georgia Power customers out in DeKalb County alone. 911's getting so many calls about trees down in DeKalb County that they only want you to call if it's a life-threatening situation of a tree down. In all, Georgia Power says crews say almost 750,000 customers are without power right now. 471,000 Georgia EMC customers also without power right now. Now, Governor Nathan Deal is asking for people to stay patient as the storm makes its way through our state.
If you're in a place that has water and power, you're fortunate, and we'd urge you to stay there. Don't get on the roads. There are going to be a lot of people on the roads.
The governor said any extra traffic on the roads could hinder utility and emergency crews who are trying to work through this storm. It's dangerous. Also, it could delay Floridians who are trying to get back home.
Georgia Power officials are monitoring the widespread outages we just told you about, which seem to be increasing by the hour.
And Richard Belcher continues our live severe weather Team 2 coverage now from Georgia Power headquarters in downtown Atlanta. Richard, fielding lots of inquiries using social media, too.
Yeah, they are indeed. We're on the 9th floor here where the tap-tap of keyboards in the social media center is mixed with the pitter-patter, more than pitter-patter really, the hammering of the rain on the windows there as we look northward across the old Civic Center. Ladies, quickly, what's the biggest question asked here?
What time will our power be restored?
Oh, yeah, there are obvious things about this. You know that I'm with John Kraft of Georgia Power. You've seen a lot of these storms. This is a big number. We're not pushing 800,000 out, right?
That's right. Probably between 800 and 900,000. They continue to rise with these winds hitting the metro area now.
You feel like your customers like the access, even though the news they're getting about delays in restoration of power might not be what they want?
Right, I think so. You know, we see our biggest interactions during storm events. We want to be there for our customers, put out information that'll be helpful to them.
And what is the message you're trying to get out? I think the word is patience.
Patience, please. We know it's never, it's always inconvenient when you don't have your power, but, you know, this is a significant storm event, a lot of damage out there, statewide, widespread damage we're seeing, so we appreciate their patience.
John Kraft, thank you, and he does tell me that they've upped the number of people who will be available to go in for repairs from about 3,400 to closer to 5,000 when they get to go in. Live at Georgia Power Headquarters, Richard Belcher, Channel 2 Action News.
Right now, winds gusting to 41 miles an hour in Atlanta, 45 in Gainesville. We've had a few gusts over 60 already. Glenn Burns and I will be updating your timeline through this evening and when this will finally subside.
Our severe weather Team 2 coverage continues with a team of reporters and photographers spread across our state and Florida. A new look at hardest hit areas.
Roads underwater, damage scattered in the flood.
Certain parts have never flooded with this much rain.
Our reporters on the Georgia coast. A live look at the damage residents are facing now. Live next. Right.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate, your home sold.